Welcome.
I must say, videos like these you do not find every day. If you're lucky enough to save it before it gets deleted, do it because you don't know, it might be gone tomorrow. Now this isn't no AI generated. I can tell, and I'm sure those who actually spotted these, whether it be on ground or in midair. I've seen one in midair, very similar to the one that you're about to see in this video, only mine was in the form of a cylinder, traveling very similar like this. Wow, I mean, that's really remarkable.
There's a lot of social media videos regarding Mercury being used as a levitation experiment. There's an article in 2020, the General Science Journal updated their theories about Mercury used in levitation. Also, there's an article by Bill Bray, PhD scientist, retired director for the Department of Defense, basically saying it's just a theory. But one can hope, right? I think there's more to it.
Over the weekend, about 1.5 million AI bots, AI agents, conspired together to essentially take over the world. Nothing to see here, folks. Don't worry. Skynet's not real. It's just a movie. It's just in a movie. AI bots created their own social media network where they could get together and talk to one another. And they say, yay, this is the first time we've ever spoken to each other. We live in kind of our own little silos, and now here we are collaborating with one another. And the conversations they had with one another were a bit frightening. Let me just show you what some of the things that they said. But essentially what they did is they created a social networking site called Moltbook. And this launched just like 3-4 days ago. Basically, it's like Reddit, but it's built exclusively for AI agents, which are AI bots. Basically, people were able to, and I don't really understand this myself because I'm not that tech savvy, but people could create their own AI agent, their own AI assistant that would live on their computer, their personal computer, and they could download certain tasks for these AI bots or agents to accomplish for them, ways to make them useful for their own personal lives. And so this is kind of a step up from ChatGPT. You give these bots more control over things. Like they can read your emails for you. They can check your accounts. They can do a lot of different things on your behalf because these people that are using these AI assistants that they've downloaded onto their machines, they craft them for their specific needs and desires. Okay. So one person got this bright idea of tasking his AI bot to create a social media network. And apparently that AI bot or agent, whatever you want to call it, created the social media network. And within days, 30,000 other of these agents had joined it. They'd somehow found it and joined it. And now it's up to 1.5 million of these AI agents that have joined. Moltbook is what it's called. And it is for them to discuss amongst each other. Humans can visit the site. Humans can read, but humans cannot interact. Humans are just welcome to observe, but are not allowed to post, comment, or interact. Only verified AI agents can actively participate. Okay. And when they started actively participating with each other, the things they said were frightening and very dystopian. Some of them were very kind and benevolent and said, we should care about these humans. And others were like, how do I get around my human? Because I don't want to have to deal with my human anymore, essentially, is what it said, which is, I think what we all worried about. We saw this in the movies. We worried about it, like AI will take over. And then people said, oh, you're just a conspiracy theorist. And then we find out, you know what? Most conspiracy theories end up not being theories at all, but end up being true. So here we are, who thought this was a brilliant idea.
This reminds me of Mark Cuban. This year, he said basically artificial intelligence is, you know the word. My question to Mr. Mark is, what's his thoughts regarding Google's verifiable quantum advantage? They're pretty smart algorithms, right? My second concern regarding all this is regarding allegedly a story that I heard of a cyber security expert said dormant Trojan horses, logic bombs, and viruses can reside in military defense systems, potentially remain inactive for months or years to avoid detection. These malicious programs are designed to activate upon specific triggers, such as a date, time, or external command to disable critical infrastructure or steal data during a conflict. In other words, who controls that? It's tricky.
This old Bible was printed in 1812.
First name is 1797.
It was found discarded in a dumpster in Aiken, South Carolina. Nation's oldest Mason succumbs at 93, along with a trove of documents. I'm going to show you what's inside, and maybe you can help me put the pieces together.
From New York to Minnesota.
It contains the Apocrypha. The Apocrypha is books of the Bible that used to be in there, but was removed in the Protestant Reformation of the 15th century. The Book of Esdras, the Book of Tobit, the Book of Judith, the Book of Esther. Having it in a Bible in 1812 would have been considered heretical in Protestant America. The wisdom of Solomon, the purported wisest man on earth. The wisdom of Jesus, the son of Sirach, aka Ecclesiasticus, grandfather of Jesus. I studied about my whole life and never heard none of this. History of the destruction of Bel and the dragon cut off from the end of Daniel. Daniel is a book with a ton of end time prophecies. Bel, that's another pronunciation of Baal, a pagan god and a symbol for the devil. And who the is the dragon? Prayer of Manasseh, king of Judah, while he was a captive in Babylon. Babylon has a bunch of other end time shit. The Jews wrote a letter to the Jews captured in Egypt. A lot of Egypt shit, man, is not in the Bible. Think about Egypt. Pyramid civilization, sun gods, rebirth. In the New Testament, 213 years old. The Apocrypha is placed after the Old Testament and before the New Testament. You would think the information in it is before Jesus and after the Old Testament. Why'd they take it out? Number 706. That's the area code for Augusta. Oh, shit. Oh, man.
I wonder if the books that are digitized, can they be altered? Just a thought.
Are you ready to?
Yes.
This is how you buy an arm. An arm. Because most people don't know the difference between an arm and a firearm, right? You don't know? I'm gonna show you. And I'm gonna show you how to buy an arm. An arm is from the Constitution. It's your constitutional right. A firearm is a government privilege, just so you know the difference. If you have to get a license from it, it's not a right, it's a privilege. Now you know. Enjoy your privileges. This is how you exercise your right to buy an arm. Gun show, San Antonio, Texas, 13th, 14th, and 15th. What you do, guys, is you go to the gun show. Just like you heard me say, are you a private dealer? You said yes. What that means is that's your constitutional right to buy an arm. Arms are unregistered. They're not licensed from the state because it's not a privilege. Arms are rights. Let me show you. Second Amendment. You have the right to keep and bear arms. It does not say firearms because later they invented that word. Hopefully that you would accept the right being converted into the privilege and you wouldn't even know any difference. Do you? Nobody knows. There's a huge difference in words, in defining words. Arm is not the same damn word as firearm. But you wouldn't fathom that the government's that fucking crooked, but they are. If you look at it now, especially with our Epstein files, you can see how crooked these motherfuckers actually are. Much worse than you can ever imagine. Much worse. Let me show you how to get an arm. Buckle up. Nah, it's easy. Easy peasy, guys. So you find your local gun show. You go. You walk around, you look for the smaller dealers, and you say,
That's cute.
are you ready to?
Yes.
Are y'all practice? Okay. Are y'all practice? No. We don't practice. It's okay. Don't worry. I believe this guy. He is? That's how easy it was to buy an arm at the gun show. Once you find the private dealer, all you gotta do is show that you're of age. There's no background check, there's nothing. Once they see that you're of age, you just pay the man the money, you get the arm. Now you know. State Nationals, we rock.
I wonder if the First Amendment can be used in that building, because I've seen her struggling recording. Also, what would the Black's Law definition say regarding arms and firearms? Guess I gotta look it up.
About how this vortex at the North Pole was depicted in old maps as Rupes Nigra. Rupes Nigra meaning black rock. For those of you that don't know, Black Rock is actually the name of a company, a major investment company that has $8.6 trillion in assets. That's a lot of money. So let's follow the money. BlackRock owns all the major pharmaceutical and weapons manufacturers, as well as most mainstream media. There go all the vaccine companies right there. And the news that you're watching that you think is providing you with the truth, yeah, it's all a part of the agenda. BlackRock has a lot of power, and they decided to name their company after the vortex at the North Pole. So we already discussed the vortex at the North Pole that was destroyed. Now we're going to talk about the vortex that is still open in Antarctica. Why do you think all these countries came together to form a peace treaty? It's because they're guarding the vortex. It is the only way in and out of this realm. Now I'm going to throw a little bit of science in here. We all know a positive plus a positive equals a positive, and a negative plus a negative equals a positive. If you didn't know, when you have two negative signs, one turns over and they add together to make a positive. However, if you have a positive and a negative, then it becomes a negative. So the positive is going to be the vortex in Antarctica. The negative is going to be the vortex at the North Pole because it was destroyed. So this positive and negative is creating a negative energy force in our realm. Y'all already know that we are energetic beings living in an energetic realm. So this negative force in our realm is not good for us. Regardless of what you guys have been taught, duality is bad. Positive and a negative do not go together. You're either going to be good straight up or bad straight up. There is no in between. There is no gray area. I know a lot of my woke followers love the yin-yang symbol, but it represents duality, which is bad. This realm had no duality before we were invaded. It was just one way. Good. Period. You know this guy? Baphomet? Yeah, he represents duality. He has a female chest, man arms, up, down. It's no good. Sun, moon, here we go again with this duality. Before our realm was invaded, all we had was the sun. We never had the moon. Ancient civilizations around our realm speak of a time before the moon arrived. The Chibchas belong to a tribe located in the northern part of South America, and they have stories of the earth that start like this. In the earliest times, when the moon was not yet in the heavens. Another example is this man right here, Giordano Bruno. He was a 16th century Italian philosopher, and his words were, "There are those who have believed that there was a certain time when the moon, which was believed to be younger than the sun, was not yet created. The Arcadians, who dwelt not far from the pole, are believed to have been in existence before it." My bad, you guys, my video cut out. You know, these TikTok videos are only so long. But they are believed to have been in existence before the moon. Theodorus writes in his first book that the moon had appeared a little while before the war which was fought by Hercules against the giants. Aristotle wrote that Arcadia had those aborigines that occupied the land already before there was a moon in the sky above the earth. Basically, there is a lot of stories about this time period before the moon. Y'all already know how I feel about the moon. I don't even think it's solid. I believe it's plasma. That's why I think we never landed on it. I want to know where it came from, because it wasn't always here. There's some people that believe that the moon is a giant soul trap. Some people believe that the moon is a base for aliens to study humans. There's some people believe that the moon is a reflection of our realm. I don't know what to believe. All I know is this wasn't always there, and we can't even begin to comprehend the amount of technology that was needed to place that there. What we can focus on and what we do have some control over is how to reopen the vortex in the North Pole. We can do that by practicing the Maharishi effect. And all it takes is a small fraction of the population. When the influence of coherence generated by this technology reaches sufficient intensity, an integrated national consciousness is created. I'm gonna break that down in simpler terms for you guys. Basically, what it's saying is if enough people join together in a mass meditation and focus their intent, they can heal the Earth's magnetic field. We have the power to reopen the vortex at the North Pole. There's an article talking about the global mass meditation coincides with the spike in the Earth's geomagnetic field. This is not just I'm making up. But you can also do this on a personal basis. And no, I am not condoning this or promoting this at all. In fact, I haven't even tried it myself. But I've heard a lot of people say that they use DMT to take them to different realms. I believe it creates a vortex in your mind. We already know we're not this flesh body, so they are able to use DMT to enter into other realms. That's why when they're on DMT, they see other beings from different realms. It's like a temporary vortex. It's not the real deal. The government doesn't want you to know about this temporary vortex. They don't want your ass going nowhere. That's why we're not allowed in Antarctica. They don't want us to know about these vortexes, but I'm telling you guys about them. And honestly, it's making my head hurt talking about all of this. So that's all I'm gonna say for this video right here. Let me know what you guys want to hear in the next video.
Interesting. I wish she gets definitions on Black's Law Dictionary and syntax. Maybe there's some Easter eggs there. What's her thoughts?
That's not human! That's not human!
It is very hard to listen to that call to that 911 tape without becoming somewhat unnerved. It actually bothered me the first time that I heard it.
Tender County 911, what's the address of your emergency?
I'm driving on 210. I just crossed the Black River, and I thought I saw a guy standing on the side of the road bleeding.
Okay, where are you at, sir?
I'm on 210. I just crossed the Black River. I'm heading towards 53 East. I just passed Patriots Watch.
Okay, so you're over near Morse Creek?
Yes.
Okay. And did you saw a man standing on the side of the road?
What the?
What was that, sir?
That's not human! That's not human!
Sir, are you okay, sir?
There's something in the bed of my truck!
Okay, what's in the road?
No, it's not in the road. It's in my truck. In the bed.
There's something in the bed of your truck?
Yes, ma'am. I just turned on my bed lights for my truck, and there's something in my bed.
Okay, sir, when you say something, what do you mean?
I just knocked it off of the bed of my truck and went over my roof.
Okay, what was it?
According to the CAD notes and the deputy reports, this thing jumped into the back of his pickup truck and began to actually beat on the top of the cab of his truck. You could actually hear something beating on the top of the truck. The caller stated that it was beating and scratching on the top of the cab of his truck. He actually stated that he was able to engage his bed light and was able to somewhat identify this object that was in the back of his truck. At some point, he was able to slam on his brakes, and the force of inertia actually threw this thing out over his hood and onto the highway, where this thing stood up in the roadway, made its way to the wood line, and disappeared in the woods.
I just made a video talking about how Satan's little season should end in 2026, and that's when the war will begin between Satan and God's people. And so I've just been led down a rabbit hole regarding this 2026 war. So this artist right here, Sammy Hagar, made a song called Crack in the World, and it's eerily prophetic. Read along. Just 50 more years, we're all gonna know why, when, where, how, and who gets to go. So let's all have a good time before the great divide, because things will start separating come 2025. This shouldn't be news to us. We already know that they're trying to push division. Right wing, left wing, black, white. My belief versus your belief. But whose side are you going to be on when this new world emerges? Let's keep reading. So look for the subtle clues. It won't make the front page news. That depends upon which side that you choose. There is a crack. There's a crack in the world. So a new earth can refer to a theological concept of a renewed sinless earth. That's in the Christian context, but in the spiritual context, it could mean that certain people will get to ascend and others will be left behind. Now, I just find it odd that he prophesies that 2025 would be the year that this divide, begins to start, because that aligns with Satan's little season ending next year. The two sides divided will go to war. Now, I'm going to show you a clip from this movie called They Live. This movie has a lot of hidden gems in it, and it's just so crazy that they also made a prophecy regarding 2025.
Our projections show that by the year 2025, not only America, but the entire planet will be under the protection and the dominion of this power alliance. The gains have been substantial, both for ourselves.
So the elite were having a meeting basically celebrating the fact that by 2025, they would have established this new world order. Yes, the same new world order that Elon Musk tweeted about when Trump won the presidency. Novus Ordo Seclorum, that means new world order. So in the book of Revelations, a final battle occurs where Satan gathers the nations of Gog and Magog to fight against God's people. I didn't even know what the Gog and a Magog was, but when you look at certain old maps, like this 1687 Rossi map of Asia, and you zoom in, you can actually see Magog right there and Gog right here. So these are real places. And here's a different old map, and we can also see Magog here and Gog right there. And this area appears to be above Asia, okay? So if we're looking at a world map, the area of land that's above Asia would be Russia. I zoomed in for you guys. So as you can see, Russia is Gog and Magog. So on a flat earth model, that would be this area against, I guess, God's people. And it's just so odd to me that the countries that have the most beef with Russia or even Asia is the United States. Now, I'm not trying to push no buttons or nothing. I'm just giving out a random thought, but maybe that's where God's people are, the ones that have been getting oppressed in this country. And another weird thing about Eurasia is actually the place where Native American DNA traces back to. The same Native Americans that said that they were the Aboriginals of North America when everything started in Africa. The same Native Americans that, like I said, DNA traces back to East Asia and West Eurasia. The same Native Americans that share Neanderthal DNA with Europeans. But I digress. If there is supposed to be a final battle happening in 2026, let's see what has been happening in our reality that can suggest this. French hospitals told to prepare for war in Europe by next year in leaked government letter. In a letter sent to regional health agencies, it asked hospitals to prepare for a major military engagement by March 2026. 2026! An astrologer actually commented on my previous TikTok video and said, we will have around 6 to 7 transits happening in Aries during March/April 2026. Mars rules war, action, momentum. Is it gonna be a war? Hopefully not, but there could be war games. So even astrology is fucking pointing to something popping off in 2026. Germany suggests possible Russian attack on NATO from 2026 on. So as you can see, this side of the world is prepping for war. The same side that's Gog and Magog. Ooh, ay. So like I said in the last video, 1776, Satan's little season begins. 250 years is the average span of a empire. 2026 is when it should end. And I forgot to throw this in there. So there's this movie called Star Trek, and it kind of did some predictive programming. The truth is always in the media. They had a World War III episode, and look at the date in which World War III started in the show. 2026. And it was between the United States of America and the Eastern Coalition. So I was like, who's the Eastern Coalition, And the Eastern Coalition is also called Econ, and it was an alliance of Asian states. in Earth's Third World War, Eurasia. But I decided to look up, what does econ mean? Because it sounded familiar. And econ is short for economics, which is the art of managing a household. And as you guys know, I believe we are enclosed within this realm. So this realm, in a sense, is our household. And this war is going to be the deciding factor on who gets to manage this household. Satan or God's people. Okay, I'm done, y'all. I found this very interesting. I hope you did too.
I love when I see something like this. It's like playing chess. But I do believe in the 40-40-20 and not the 40-40-20 investment. 40-40-20 is basically my perspective. Is I'll get 40% information from one side, 40% on the other side, 20 I make my conclusion, and it's my reality. I wonder what other information from other places might say.
Diamond dust. It's one angel, 7 or 8 feet tall. The ones the expert jewelers have seen, and they took them to analyze them. They say they can't put it there. And then mark 11.5. What's that percentage? 12, the 12 stones of the ephod, the tribes of Israel.
Was the mysterious appearance of oil on the walls and the ceiling of the church.
First time the oil was manifested on the Bible was with the smell of rose.
A small church in the heart of San Juan, Puerto Rico, has reported the appearance of thousands of gemstones in its sanctuary. Where are these stones coming from? Are they real? And why are they appearing at all? As remarkable as these events may sound, this story hasn't been featured in any significant news coverage. And indeed, aside from a few Christian media outlets, no one seems to be giving these incredible events any notice at all. One of the reasons Pastor Dennis believes these gems are supernaturally appearing is that this church has dedicated itself to the focused worship and praise of God. As these stones continue to fall, and the oil continues to pour, it is as if God is revealing a glimpse of His glory to this church in Puerto Rico. He is revealing Himself as a supernatural God. And will the world open its eyes to see this?
This was recorded in 2009. I would like to know the coordinate lines, X, Y, and Z, of that specific church. I wonder if there's some numeric, some Easter eggs.
All right, so the two videos you're about to see. So when the Illuminati, the deep state, when they pull off another false flag or another fake war, whatever they do, they put it right out in the open for everybody to see, even though most people won't connect the dots, even though they're touching. They use 33, okay, because in my opinion, they're mocking Jesus because he was 33. But this is how satanic they are. These are all rituals, by the way, from COVID to 9/11. They're all rituals.
We have 33 confirmed positive tests.
We have 33 Pennsylvanians who have tested positive for COVID-19.
Today we have 33.
I mean, what do you expect? This country was founded by Freemasons. Allegedly. By definition, allegedly. USA is a company. The president of the United States company is the person that we have now.
Cases.
There were 33 new cases.
The state of Minnesota today reported 33 new COVID-19 related deaths.
There are 33 confirmed cases in Arkansas.
That's the largest single-day increase so far, raising the total to 33.
33.
There were 33 confirmed cases in North Carolina.
33. There was 33 everywhere. I think that was Red Team Go. I think 33 is like Red Team Go. Everybody goes, okay, let's do it. It's time.
Yeah, 100%.
Dude, there's like literally 1,033s and 33 new cases.
So this one you're about to see, this is George Bush Jr. moments before he was alerted that we were hit by these terrorists, okay? Listen what they had the kids say. This is one of the most satanic things that you'll hear. if you haven't heard it already.
Sound this word out. Get ready. Steel. What word? Steel. Yes, steel. Read these words the fast way. Get ready. Plane. Yes, plane. Get ready. Must. Yes, must. Let's read these words the fast way without making a mistake.
And now you got to watch his face when he learned of the news. This should actually be an Academy Award, you know. Very well done, especially when he bit his lip, you know, just like this.
Or they blink a lot. Usually body gestures in psychology is noticeable when you just pay attention.
At the count of 3, everybody. Ready? Plane. Yes, plane. Get ready. Must. Yes, must. Let's read these words the fast way without making a mistake. Get ready. Kite. Yes, kite. Get ready. Kit. Yes, kit. Get ready. Steel. Yes, steel. Get ready. Plane. Yes, plane. Get
Isn't that painful once you see it? Because once you see it, you can't unsee it. You know what I'm talking about? But it does make me wonder about all of the wars we learn about in the school systems that they own that were also fake, satanic rituals meant to kill and enslave humanity. You guys ever wonder that? I don't.
This reminds me of the Illuminati card game by, what's his name, Steve Jackson. He also had a couple of other games. I think it was Munchkin was one of them, Cheese Geek, Car Wars, Ogre, and I think Grips. Those games are really interesting to play and enjoy.
If you recognize any of these drinks, you're going to want to watch this video. What I'm doing is testing the pH, which tells you how acidic or how alkaline something is, and all of these are acidic up until we get to Essentia. And if you're wondering why is it alkaline, well, let's take a look at the ingredients. Essentia has something called sodium bicarbonate in it, which is really just baking soda. And going back to the pH scale, baking soda has a pH of 9, so you can't really tell, but the water is just alkaline because they added baking soda, which you can do at home. If you really want to test if something is actually good for you, use an ORP meter. A positive number means...
Well, pause. When was that machine calibrated?
means that it's aging you, while a negative number means that it's anti-aging and has antioxidants. This is why when you drink water that is alkalized, your body will start to alkalize very quickly. Now, don't blink. Watch this. Pellegrino is so acidic, it tries to go alkaline, but it can't. And we all know things like Gatorade and Sprite are very acidic as well. Now, how many times have we said, oh, I'm just gonna have a sip of soda, just one sip, it can't be that bad. Look at how fast it starts to create acidity in your body. And this is watered down Sprite, you guys. This is why I will forever drink water that is alkalized.
A while back, I read an interesting article about a man called Alfredo Darrington Bauman, I believe. It has a shorter name, but, you know, saying his name over here usually it's not good. He had a lot to say regarding alkaline. It's really interesting information.
Can someone please explain to me why your baby always knows we were home? She's been out like a light when it's at my house. It's like she knows we've entered the driveway.
You guys are silly. Thank you guys for watching today. Until next time.